The president and first lady head to Buffalo to meet with victims' families at the site of a deadly mass shooting and push Congress to take action on guns.
The evil did come to Buffalo. It's come to all too many places.
As police are releasing new details about the suspect's plan.
We found some things that show that he was here in early March.
The FDA has a plan to increase baby formula production in hopes of fixing a shortage hitting the U.S., but it might take weeks for formula to return to store shelves.
We're doing everything we can 24/7 to work on this.
The partner of Aurora's fired police chief turns herself in over false claims she made against a member of the city council. And 2 Colorado cities are named some of the best places to live in the U.S. Happening now, you're looking live from Buffalo, New York, where 10 people were killed in a shooting at that grocery store over the weekend. President Joe Biden just wrapped up giving a speech less than an hour ago, calling on Congress to take action and keep guns off the streets.
We can keep assault weapons off our streets. We've done it before. You can't prevent people from being radicalized to violence. But we can address the relentless exploitation of the internet to recruit and mobilize terrorism. We just need that.
Now, before the president spoke, he and the first lady stopped by a memorial and met with victims' families. Rena Roy reports on the new video we're seeing showing chaos just moments after that shooting.
Somber moments this morning as President Biden and the First Lady visited the site of America's deadliest mass shooting this year, a short time after meeting privately with the families of the 10 innocent people killed Saturday afternoon at Tops Supermarket.
There's a lot of people dead in here.
Yeah. This exclusive video capturing the shock and terror of the shooting's aftermath as the 18-year-old suspect Peyton Gendron was arrested.
Oh my God, he shot so many people in there.
You can see Julie Hallwell fall to the ground as she awaited news about her partner and 8-year-old daughter who were inside.
That was the longest wait I've ever had in my life.
Lamont and London hid in a cooler, eventually making it out safely, describing those terrifying moments in an interview with WKBW.
I was scared for my mom. I didn't know where she was. I thought she was gone.
But Hayward Patterson never made it out.
He loved the community just as much as he loved the church. And so you would see him anywhere he was encouraging people.
Authorities now revealing new details on how they say the alleged gunman plotted what police are calling a racist rampage.
The individual was here a few months ago, back in early March.
ABC News obtaining a document allegedly posted by the suspect to the online chat site Discord over several months. Authorities say it appears to show how the alleged gunman carefully planned out the massacre, visiting the supermarket on March 8th where he was questioned by a security guard. The document also includes sketches of the store outlining different aisles he could navigate quickly. Police say he even visited the store again one day before the shooting and was questioned by a security guard. Police say the suspect had plans to continue his attack at other locations, but Buffalo police arrived within 1 minute of the first 911 calls, stopping him from taking even more lives. Rena Roy, ABC News, Buffalo, New York.
Now here at home, the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance will hold a vigil this afternoon for those shooting victims. It starts at 2 on the steps of the state capitol. And the Buffalo shooting brings back tragic memories for the survivors of last year's King Soopers shooting in Boulder. Chelsea Krisaki was working at the store when a gunman opened fire, killing 10 people last March. She says this past year has been extremely difficult. She remembers details of her terrifying escape, and she now says she's scared to go out in public places. She knows survivors in Buffalo will face a long journey ahead.
The community came together in such a big way here, and across the country even. There was so much support here in Boulder, and I can only hope that there's that same outpouring of love and support for that community.
Being from Buffalo myself, I know that that is already true. Chelsea hasn't returned to that store and isn't sure if she will. She hopes the prosecution in Buffalo will go quicker, though, compared to the process here. Last month, the King Soopers suspect was ruled incompetent to stand trial for a third time. New at 11, Robin Nisita. We just learned this morning that the partner of the Aurora police chief, again, there you see her, Robin Nicita turned herself into police yesterday. Now, an arrest warrant was issued for her after Aurora police say she made a false child abuse report about a city council member, Danielle Jurinsky. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office says Nicita turned herself into a different law enforcement agency, was booked, and then posted bond. Well, Aurora City Council did not discuss the situation involving Vanessa Wilson's partner and Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky last night, but the council did talk about the Youth Violence Prevention Program. They want to see more done on the intervention side of things instead of focusing on just prevention. Parts of a program on gang reduction are being brought back. The council will vote on that plan next Monday. The city council will also vote next week on pallet homes for the city's homeless population. The city has a new camping ban, and part of that plan is figuring out where the homeless can go. The idea is to put more of these pallet homes at 2 locations rather than paying to turn the Aurora Day Resource Center into a 24/7 shelter. Aurora Public Schools is considering closing 2 elementary schools, and many parents aren't happy about that. Parents and teachers at Sable and Pariso elementary schools rallied this weekend against those potential closures. The district says it's considering closing the schools because of low enrollment. Parents and teachers say they don't think the board is being transparent or that their voices are being heard.
They're not happy at all. They're very upset about this place that they've gone to. We go there in our off time to go to the playgrounds, and it's just been a pinnacle of our community, and they're just very upset.
There's not a clear criteria for how they're choosing schools. For example, Sable Elementary does not have the lowest enrollment or the lowest building capacity in the district.
Now, the district superintendent tells us the district started looking at enrollment trends in 2017. A recommendation to close the schools was brought up a few months ago.
Paris and Sable are both in what we've identified as Region 1. And in that area, we have 7 traditional elementary schools, and we have significantly fewer students than we have places for those students, which means we are really underutilizing those buildings and spending a significant amount of money on half-empty buildings that we should be using to provide services to kids.
Now, it's unclear if the board will make a decision about closing the schools tonight. If the board does close them, it could happen as early as next May. Well, Denver Public Schools is hiring. It's having a diversity hiring event from 4:30 to 6:30 tonight at George Washington High School. People will hear from officials about the district's vision, and they'll have a chance to meet with other school leaders. Younger children are one step closer to getting COVID-19 booster shots. The FDA authorized Pfizer's boosters for kids 5 to 11. Pfizer's vaccine is the only COVID shot available for kids of any age. Now the CDC needs to approve it. The agency will meet to talk about boosters on Thursday. There's some good news for parents out there. The FDA is working on a plan to reopen a baby formula plant that was shut down due to contamination. Ike Ajachi reports on the new guidelines in place to increase the formula supply.
Today, a positive sign for families struggling to find vital baby formula for their newborns. The Food and Drug Administration announcing it's moving to import brands of formula from abroad, currently not sold in the U.S.
We are seeking manufacturers from around the globe who may have available product that could meet our regulatory standards for both nutrition and food safety.
The U.S. usually produces 98% of the infant formula it consumes. Officials say the imported formula could potentially come from the U.K., Australia, and New Zealand, nations that have safety and health inspection systems similar to the U.S. This as moms and dads of infant children across the country are desperate to find formula to feed their kids.
If this doesn't get remedied quick, we are going to see babies starve.
As for domestic production, the FDA reaching an agreement with Abbott Nutrition, the nation's largest formula maker, to restart production at its largest factory in Sturgis, Michigan. In order to reopen, the agency says the facility must retain an independent expert to review operations, create sanitation and environmental monitoring plans, and develop employee training programs. In February, the FDA shut down the Abbott plant due to alleged unsanitary conditions at the facility that was potentially linked to 2 infants dying and 2 others getting sick. In a statement, Abbott says the FDA and CDC found no conclusive evidence to link Abbott's formulas to the infants' illnesses. Now, Abbott's saying it will take 2 weeks to restart operations and up to 2 months to get its products back onto shelves. The FDA did not specify which brands it'll be importing from overseas, but they're assuring the public that any product hitting store shelves would have gone through rigorous security checks. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
You can't look into last year too much because that's in the past, and we're focused on the present and playing the St. Louis team this year.
That's Devin Taves talking about the Avs' upcoming series with the St. Louis Blues. The two teams meet tonight for Game 1 in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Avs swept the Blues in the first round last year. Both teams will be well rested, though. It's been 8 days since the Avs played a game, 5 for St. Louis. We'll have live reports from Ball Arena starting at 4 o'clock tonight. Puck drop is at 7:30. 2 Colorado cities are among the best places to live in the U.S. The list from U.S. News and World Reports puts Colorado Springs and Boulder in the top 5. Huntsville, Alabama took the top spot, which was where Boulder was last year. The second best place is Colorado Springs, followed by Green Bay, Wisconsin, Boulder, and San Jose, California. Now, Denver and Fort Collins dropped this year. Denver went from 14th down to 55th, and Fort Collins from 17th down to 54th. U.S. News and World Report cited the high cost of living and air quality as to why those cities dropped. Well, we'll get an update from forest officials on one of Colorado's most beautiful places tomorrow. The original trail to Hanging Lake has been closed since last summer because of wildfire and mudslide damage. Officials are working on a temporary trail which could open this summer. Well, coming up, the U.S. military tests a new missile to keep up with China and Russia. Plus, new homeowners are reaching out to Denver 7 demanding answers about why red tape is preventing them from getting their dream homes.